This is another episode of the basic Azure architecture. In this episode, we are going to discuss the security components and security architecture of the basic Azure architecture series. In case if you have missed any of the previous videos, it is always recommended to watch the previous videos before jumping into this security components of the basic Azure architecture. This picture you have already seen in the previous video about the high-level Azure architecture for the basic Azure blueprint. So in this, the user will log into the website, typing the browser URL on the browser. And for the first time, the DNS has to resolve the URL in the DNS custom domain. Then the request will be passed to the actual infrastructure. So here I have the virtual network with subnets and the cloud services created. Now the request should look for the public IP address, because the public IP address of the application gateway is configured in the DNS registrar. So once the DNS registrars compares the mapping of the public IP address with the URL, and then send that request to the Azure application gateway. And in the Azure application gateway, we have the public IP address, and it accepts the request once that is matching, and then the request will be processed to the next service. So here we are going to have the network security group. This Azure application gateway will be hosted in the separate subnet. We will discuss those details in the detailed architecture. So I will be having a separate subnet for the application gateway with the network security group associated to that subnet. That's point number one. And then we are going to have the another subnet in the application web tier app service environment, and then we are going to configure the inbound requests. So configure the inbound list. We will be configuring the IP address of the application gateway, so that this app service environment will have access to only this application gateway. And same thing, we need to configure the inbound list in the network security group of the application gateway about the IP address of the application gateway, so that we are allowing the traffic from application gateway to API management for the public API access. So the API management here is going to behave for the public API calls, also for the internal API calls coming from this app service environment, so this web tier where the website is hosted. So I'm going to take those in details, like how the application gateway or API management same instance will be configured for public facing external access and also internal access for the internal website calls. So as I mentioned, so we are going to have one network security group here, one network security group here, one network security group here. And in each network security group, we are going to configure the IP address of who are accepted, who are denied. So those firewall list will be configured to the network security group of each service instance. So in the step 6, once the request from the API management comes to the app tier, where all the microservices are hosted in this particular app service environment. Again, inside the app service environment, you can have the multiple app service plans, depending on how you want to categorize your services. Let's say if I categorize all the domain services in together, so I would be placing them in one app service environment. So depending on the complexity, criticality, so we will see how we can segregate those app service plans for hosting the microservices inside the app tier. Now, finally, in the bottom, we have the storage account, which is going to be in a separate subnet with the network security group, and which will allow the calls only from the app tier app service environment. Same thing with the database. We'll have a separate firewall list configured, whitelisting the IP address of the app tier app service environment. And so when you are making the calls to the external services from this app tier, so we can configure that in the outbound calls. Now on the right side, I have also, this is the traffic coming from the actual end users who is actually accessing the portal. So that's a client internet boundary. So the calls are coming either through the port 80 or port 80, 443 HTTP or HTTPS request. So that all the TLS will be enabled for the external facing users. For the internal users are the users, those who are actually managing these Azure services, like, you know, the DevOps team or the application support team. So those teams will enter into the zone through the Azure portal. So you will be using the Azure Active Directory authentication, enabling the multi-factor authentication for those users who is accessing the cloud infrastructure, like a portal or the Bastion host. So I'm recommending here the Bastion host for the JUMP server, which is going to be in a separate subnet network security group, and we need to whitelist the IP address who are all going to access. So this is a secure way to access the VM as a JUMP server. So this is something I will be discussing more in details during the details. But so the internal users who wants to access to the Azure basic infrastructure, Azure infrastructure, will have access through either portal or the JUMP server. So this is all about the high level, very high level security components of the basic Azure architecture. When we drill down into the details, we will discuss more in details. So in this let's discuss some of the best practices of the Azure Application Gateway. I will be discussing more details of the Azure Application Gateway during the implementation of the Azure Application Gateway, but a few points to remember here. We are going to use this Azure Application Gateway for filtering the web vulnerabilities coming from the internet. So here, this is behaving as the layer 7 load balancer, and also having the web application firewall, where we are going to check all these rules inside the web application firewall for blocking the cross-site scripting attacks or SQL injection attacks. So if you see, if as soon as there is a cross-site scripting attack, application gateway terminates that request in the application gateway itself before sending into the backend app service environment or the API management or the any of the VMs in case if you are using it. So this picture shows that how the cross-site scripting or the SQL injections are terminated at the application gateway level, not processing and sending into the backend. So if the only request going into the backend website or the API management here, they're all filtered and valid requests from the front end. And this slide, we are going to discuss the Azure security management. These are categorized into the identity and access management, where you can discuss the Azure Active Directory, multi-factor authentication, how to enable multi-factor authentication, how to manage the Azure Active Directory, creating the RBACs, role-based access control, and also set up the Azure Active Directory for identity protection. And the second one is the encryption, like, your disk encryption, storage encryption, SQL encryption. What are the best practices you can follow? You can, in fact, the security center will, help in identifying what kind of security encryption mechanism should be followed during the implementation. And we are also going to use the Azure Key Vault for, storing some of the certificates or secrets related to the application and the confidential information. When it comes to the network security components, VNet, VPN are the network security group, subnet. So these are the kind of things we will be using in the network security. And the application gateway itself, DDoS protection standard version, which is really expensive, but be careful when we are using the DDoS protection, and the express route for connecting to the on-premise services, and other other services like Azure Security Center and Microsoft anti-malware for the Azure, or the Azure Monitor, or Azure Advisor services. So these are some of the security management components. We'll discuss more in details during the actual implementation and the detailed document on the rest of the security components. Thank you.